on everything all the time. You may have noticed that here or there in the conservative movement, but we reflect alternative options, and DHS is a good example of this. We start out with a primary recommendation, which may surprise some of you, and that is to get rid of the Department of Homeland Security. Well, maybe it doesn't surprise that many of you. But we also play the probabilities. Before I went to the dark side, went to law school, I was an engineer. I can attest to use Ed's word from earlier today, the ecumenical nature across the conservative movement of this whole effort. And what if it doesn't get broken down? And by that, we don't mean get rid of the missions.
Every 2
We need
years,
better manage from a national standpoint how American security is protected, how American responsiveness is protected.
What happens day after,
for instance.
And we
go through them agency by agency as well, including some of the things we think
they should be able to get a chance to flush through the policy recommendations,
TSA.
having all of that.
It should be.
That's what we're going to
Listen to the it's just so important. We lay out the groundwork for how an incoming team, as you heard Rick describe, could begin executing on that goal on day one.
And a lot of folks say it would be how to the most powerful think tank in America. It would be very easy to go it alone on a project like this. That's not what happened here. Under the leadership of Kevin Roberts and Paul Dans and Spencer and Steve Groves and others, this has been really a team effort. You got 50 different conservative organizations that contributed to this. That's what makes this a strong product. No presidential campaign or president is going to be able to ignore it. This is going to give them the tools to really be successful. And so really grateful proud of the team for what they've done.
What we've done is use our convening power heritage, spending, thank you for that remark. 2025 is not never happening. It's a conservative movement thing. We're going to explain briefly here. We're going to have a panel and we'll have a video. But what we're doing is systematically preparing to march into office and bring a new army of aligned, trained, and essentially weaponized conservatives ready to do battle against the deep state. So if you would, join me in watching the video and inviting our fellow panelists here, Ed, Rick, and Ken Cuccinelli over, so we'll cue the video and have a little discussion. What is Project 2025? It's a call for you to come work here, Washington, D.C.
Conservatives face a tough challenge in Washington, the swamp. The left has built a system that blocks and sabotages our efforts to run our government and deliver a conservative agenda.
People would come into the government on behalf of a president and not be bought into the agenda that he was elected to do. They were either uncommitted or incompetent.
Things aren't going to change unless you commit to serving our country.
We want to make sure that the plans that are in place have been vetted so that the person knows not only what argument and excuses coming their way, but what the answer is, and have the trust of a movement-wide effort led by the Heritage Foundation to make sure that they know that it's credible and it's conservative.
This time, learning from the experience of former conservative appointees, we can overcome common obstacles and get things done.
The reason I got involved is because I wanted to be part of a movement-led effort, and the Heritage Foundation has used their influence to be able to convene the movement.
We can be ready to hit the ground running on day one of the next administration. In the wise words of Glenn Blackwell, you owe it to your philosophy to study how to win. Project 2025 will ensure a conservative agenda is ready to roll on day number one. Make sure that we as conservatives